Yokohama. Power of performance.
Welcome back live to Brno in the Czech Republic. Bright sunny afternoon as the cars are on the grid for round 10 of the FIA European Touring Car Championship. The midway point of the season then, 10 of the 20 races will have been completed as they leave Brno, and still it is likely to go to the very last race to decide this championship title. Race 1 winner was BMW GB's Andy Prio. Let's catch up with him in the 8th grid position for race 2.
Andy Prio, thanks to your victory in race 1, this puts you 2 points behind the leader of the championship, Dirk Muller. How are you going to handle race 2?
Well, it's going to be a tough race. I've got 7 very fast cars ahead of me, so I have to finish first of all, but make up some places as well. But my plan is to be near the front by the end of the season, and I need to keep finishing, getting points. So far we've had a very quick car, but had a couple of races with a bit of bad luck, so I need to finish every race now.
Thank you, Andy.
Bearing out, as we were saying, you've got to score points. Of course, Andy Prio was on second grid position behind Rickard Rydell. The Swede is in second in race 1. He will start in 7th on the grid.
Rickard Rydell, the best ever results for SEAT this season. Is it really difficult for the SEAT to be as consistent in a race as in the qualifying?
Well, yeah, we have worked a lot on the qualifying setup, and we've found a really good setup for qualifying. So I think we need to work a bit more for the race setup. But anyway, it's like a win for us. Now from 7th position, it's a bit more difficult to finish top 3, but we'll see what happens.
Thank you.
Well, Rickard is about as British as you and I now. David, he spent so long racing in the UK. Yes, it kind of escaped me there as we were watching the battle behind Prio and Rydell. Second position is their best result so far with the SEAT team. Now, front row of the grid, of course, will be Frank Diefenbacher on pole with Jörg Muller alongside him. Dirk Muller and Antonio Garcia are on the third row of the grid, just in front of Rydell and Prio. And Dirk Muller, who started strongly, is with us now.
Dirk Muller, you've taken the lead of the championship again, even though not on the podium. What's your strategy for this race?
I mean, actually, like I said before, I had a really difficult race. I really enjoyed it. It was really tough because the 40 kilos is really hard to take around here. I lost all the speed on the straight. Actually, I mean, I need to collect points for the second race and to stay ahead in the championship. I mean, I was in the lead in Hockenheim, the first heat, and I like to be in head in the second heat. So I try my best.
Thank you.
Yeah, so David's arithmetic shows Dirk Muller on 53 points, Jörg Muller on 52, Andy Prio on 51. That's our top 3 in the championship. Gabriele Tarquini 4th on 43, and Giovanardi in 5th place on 37 points. Let's catch up with him.
Giovanardi, this morning you told me that qualifying would be a bit different, yet you're the best placed Alfa in the race today, starting 5th. What's going on with Alfa?
But I think we have difficulties in this circuit. You have just to gain point because I saw the other drivers so too fast, and I have just to be careful to gain point for the championship.
Thank you.
There are going to be circuits, certainly, where BMW and SEAT, David Leslie, are much more on the back foot. We saw that at Monza, we saw that at Valencia, very much so for BMW. And at Manicur as well, another high-speed circuit that really suited the Auto Delta Alfa Romeos. Hockenheim didn't. Brno clearly doesn't favour them in any way, doesn't really handicap them quite as much, but there are other circuits that play into the hands of the BMW and the SEAT more than the Alfa Romeo. So it kind of comes and goes for each of the teams during the season, depending on where they're racing.
It is very much depending upon what happens, how fast the circuit is. The very much quicker circuits like Monza certainly suit the Alfa Romeo. It's a very, very strong engine indeed, very good in a straight line. And you know, later in the year we're going to some faster circuits like Spa, for instance. And so that's going to really suit the Alfa Romeos rather than the BMWs. But as you said, it swings roundabouts, and it is a whole season, over 10 meetings. So, you know, everybody gets to go up being in the front. We've seen how dominant the Alphas were at the beginning. At this moment in time, we're seeing just how dominant the BMWs are. But amongst all that is coming the SEATs. The SEATs, remember, last year were not quite there, not quite got the time. But this year they've improved dramatically, and with that second pole position of the year for Rickard Rydell, and then to go out and finish second, their best ever finish, see it now becoming very much an integral part of the championship. And there we can see another Seat sitting on the front row, albeit they finished 7th. Was it 7th or 8th? 8th they finished.
Yeah.
So that puts them on the front row of the grid for this restart. And they are very much now, a real manufacturer out there scoring points. What was it? Rickard Rydell scored 8 points in that race. He only had 5 before that, so he's more than doubled his points total. So he's now up to 13 points. But that's put him ahead of his teammate Frank Diefenbacher, in actual fact. And
so he's got the same as Canet. That's right.
Yeah, Jordi Genet has only got sort of 15. So those 3 people are now starting to score points and starting to move up that championship ladder a little bit.
Yeah, the Seats are looking stronger and stronger. Only their second year ever of circuit racing as a manufacturer in the international arena. Seats were raced in Spain in the 70s, but they were very much remanufactured Fiats, and that's very much no longer the case in Seat. So Frank Diefenbacher leads them away then, as David said, another Seat starting on pole position. There's the poleman for the first race, Rickard Rydell, further back in the field, finished in second place, so he will start 7th. So the grid then will be Diefenbacher with Jörg Muller's BMW alongside. Tom Coronel, top independent, will be 3rd away with Giovanardi alongside him in the Alfa. Dirk Muller 5th, Antonio Garcia 6th, Rickard Rydell 7th, Andy Prio, the race 1 winner, in 8th place. And as David pointed out, Andy Prio's car failing under him as he was coming up through the order from starting in 8th place in the second race at Hockenheim, and that's the first mechanical retirement I think he's had in a season and a half of racing now with this BMW GB car and the Bart Mampay racing operation. So they've had a very good success rate and a very good consistency rate as well, as have pretty much all of the cars. You don't see many mechanical failures. Because they're closest to the field, it tends to be a little bit more accident damage or driver accidents.
Without doubt, these cars are very well prepared indeed. You can see, looking from even inside, everything is in a place, everything is neat and tidy, the dash is there, it's all right, it works. There are no real problems with these cars. These cars are very well prepared, and they look good and they are very reliable. And as you said, it is the accident damage, and in touring cars, yes, there is a lot of accident damage because it is so close. You were saying before, between 2nd and 11th place was covered by 1 second in the first race for qualifying, and it's that closeness that makes the touring car racing so exciting.
Our 4 non-finishers, Alex Zanardi, Jordi Canet, Klaus Svart and Tony Räikkönen, all seem to be past and present on the grid, or past the cameras and present on the grid. Canet with that puncture. Zanardi, quite sure why the car stopped, but it's clearly not terminal, because he's managed to get the car back out onto the track.
It was sitting in a gravel trap, so for some reason either he was having a real dice trying to get a place on the very last lap, whatever, whether he lost it or somebody gave him a helping hand into the gravel trap, I'm not sure, but that's where it was. The tractor was just pulling it out at the end of that race, and you only get sort of 10 minutes to re-prepare the car to be back out onto the second race. So remembering, when you've got such a short gap between the first race and the second race, you really have to bring the car back in one piece. It's no good having the car all smashed in the first race, because the poor mechanics don't have sufficient time to get it ready for the second. So it is a bit of an endurance in some respects. You have to bring it back in one piece after the first race, even to have a chance of scoring the points in the second race.
Well, lessons that you and Gabriele Tarquini and the Alfa driver, his Alfa teammate Fabrizio Giovanardi, all learned in the Euro STC that was the precursor to the European Touring Car Championship, where again the races were very much back-to-back, and any damage in race 1 really crippled you for race 2. And I think that's a very strong idea, to make sure that drivers actually have a bit of respect for each other and the machinery as well. So on the grid then, Frank Diefenbacher on the right of picture, Jörg Muller will be on the left, Tom Coronel on row 2 to the right of the picture. There's Fabrizio Giovanardi lining up in 4th, Dirk Muller, Antonio Garcia, Rickard Rydell in the onboard camera there. Splitter cam is with Andy Prio in the BMW GB car. Jordi Canet back of the field. In front of him, Tony Räikkönen. And well, that might be Simon Harrison actually, and Michele Barcian just in front of him, with Zanardi alongside. Svart and Räikkönen also on the grid. There is Prio, the race 1 winner, 3rd in the championship, 2 points off the series lead. Top 3 drivers covered by 2 points at the midway stage of the season. Fantastic. Ready to go then. Race 2. Very quick change as the lights come in, they go out. Away go the BMWs. Jörg Muller gets the start. Let's look for the red windscreen strip of Dirk Muller. Tom Coronel coming through into second place. Around the outside of Diefenbacher, who's defending on the inside. That's got to be from Giovanardi. And Dirk Muller gets in front of Giovanardi. Jörg Muller has the lead. Dirk Muller's got in front of Giovanardi with Andy Prio. That's Antonio Garcia, perennially right in the middle of things. And so too is Fabrizio Giovanardi. Climbing the hill now up to this first long left. Stefano D'Aste having a stall and not getting off the grid, but he's finally got going. There is the red windscreen strip, the white BMW. That's Dirk Muller defending on the inside, and off goes one of the three Oregon Team Alphas. I think that was Luca Rangoni. Seems to be a real accident magnet this season. The multiple Renault Clio champion. And you just saw the number one car, Gabriele Tarquini, in the thick of it on board with Jordi Canet. 3 abreast, going for 4 abreast into the downhill right-hand braking area. Wow, again, a phenomenal race. And Jörg Muller gone away. Diefenbacher second, Coronel third, Dirk Muller fourth, Garcia fifth, Andy Prio in 7th place behind Giovanardi. So plenty of action here to go, David, but an enterprising first lap from a lot of them as well.
It is. They want to get out there in the first lap. They need to try and make those places up. In the first lap, all the cars are very close together and they're not spread out. So if you're going to try and make some places up, it's always best to try and do it on the first lap. Everyone is trying a little bit extra. You can see how they're spread out across 3 abreast, trying to come in to the corners, trying to just outside each other, get up the inside, do whatever they need to do just to try and get past. But they've got to be able to stay on. It's no good hitting somebody and then putting yourself off along with them. You really need to stay on the circuit and try and catch those places. But all the time, at every single corner, somebody's doing a dive to the right, to the left, wherever it might be, just to try and get that extra position.
Dirk Muller just getting back past Garcia there through that little left-right chicane, and Giovanardi all over the road trying to defend from Andy Prio, who's right up his backside. There's Giovanardi looking to the inside of Garcia. He's got him. He's done the move down there, and well, Andy Prio needs to try and get inside as he can, but it's too late. The road turns right, and he's got company behind him as well. Now he's looking for the inside line. Onto the straight for the first time. It's Jörg Muller leading, and away from all that, and probably grateful of it, although he loves a dust-up. On board with Tarquini, going past Ricard Rydell, chasing Giovanardi. No, chasing Farfus past Ricard Rydell. On the outside is Garcia, on the inside is Andy Prio, and he stays on the inside line, gets through. 2 overtaking manoeuvres at the same time there, one in front of the other, and Andy Prio has moved up importantly now into 6th position with Fabrizio Giovanardi in front of him as Jörg Muller eases away from Diefenbacher. Coronel not losing anything in the independent BMW in 3rd. Those Carli Motorsport engines are always really strong. Jordi Canet right behind Garcia in that, right behind Zanardi rather, in that battle at the tail of the field. But David, still, it's just absolutely non-stop action. Huge queue of cars, everybody trying to outbrake into every corner.
It doesn't matter where you are on this grid. There's great big groups of 5 or 6 cars all trying to beat each other into the corners, and you know, no one is giving up. Nobody sort of gives an inch. Everyone is always trying to hang on to the last little bit to try and make sure that they get as far as they can. Here we can see Giovanardi, and we think that he's now behind Farfus, we think. Farfus has obviously had a good start to this race, and there's Giovanardi and the other Alfa Romeo now back in. He's in front of Prio. Prio having just got past Garcia, so Prio now needs to get past the Alfa Romeo. I think that was a very good job of getting past Garcia, because we've seen how difficult it was in the first race, and Muller didn't manage to get past Garcia, but Andy, it didn't take him too long, but he's got to get past this Alfa Romeo now to get back onto the BMWs in front of that.
Yeah, championship leader leads. Oh, and there's the champion. Gabriele Tarquini was behind Augusto Farfus, but he's been nerfed off from behind. We saw him coming into the gravel trap from the wrong direction. Oh, he tried down the inside of Farfus, got it wrong, gets hit. Yep. Well, that's where we saw him, and that was Ricard Rydell from behind him, I think, was the Seat right behind. It wasn't Diefenbacher. Diefenbacher's still in second. I think it must have been Rydell. Yeah, probably, because Genet was too far back. But, well, Rydell just miscuing there. On board again with Prio. That's Giovanardi, and Dirk Muller still not past Tom Coronel. Dirk tried a couple of times on the last lap. Dirk is the all-white car with the red windscreen strip and the German flag on the roof. But look at the battle up front. Diefenbacher now right behind Jörg Muller, sticking it to him as Dirk Muller does get down the inside of Tom Coronel, and Andy Prio still seeing the back of Diefenbacher, of Giovanardi's car, and it's a battle for the lead. Has Jörg Muller gone sick, because Diefenbacher is now all over the back of him, and the road is going left at the bottom of the hill here. Diefenbacher's got the lead. What a great move from the German driver, and here comes Prio behind Giovanardi. You could barely catch catch up with all the action. It's so frantic. Giovanardi's got past Coronel. Here's a chance for Andy Priaulx to do likewise. Coronel a little wide off line. Priaulx on the grass, almost with all four wheels. Couldn't get by, but here he comes again down the hill. And Diefenbacher still leads from Jörg Muller. David, the Seat, what's going on?
Yes, that was a bit of a surprise to have the Seat go past in a straight line. But all the time, the Seat's been getting better. We did say at the last meeting, we did see one of the Volkswagen Group engineers inside the Seat garage. We discovered afterwards that he was there, and what he said was that they're going to help Seat, the group are going to help Seat with their engine to try and make it better. And it looks as though they've already started, because they are very strong to be able to get past the BMW, coming out of the corner a little bit quicker, getting past into the next corner.
Tail of the field with Genet still chasing Zanardi up the order, and they are now 13th and 14th. Blimey, I can't believe that, from 22nd and 23rd on the grid. Diefenbacher is leading from Jörg Muller on his own recognizances. Giovanardi has got past Coronel. Andy Priaulx's bumper cam showed he still hasn't. He's got Garcia behind him. Giovanardi cannot escape from Tom Coronel in the Carly Motorsport car. Leading independent, he's comfortably got the upper hand over the Oregon team BMWs, the purple, yellow and Alfa Romeos, the purple, yellow and green cars. You can't see them in the same shot, and running over the dirt there, well, a long way ahead was Jörg Muller, but that's dropped him further off the tail of Diefenbacher. Let's see the shot. Where's Diefenbacher? Didn't see him again there behind Tom Coronel. Now it goes right here. Let's see if Coronel can get up the inside. God, look at Priaulx can get up the inside. Look at the drive. Coronel's got off the corners there. No wonder they can't get by him.
Yeah, it's very difficult. If you can get a nice run out of a corner, it's very difficult to try and get a toe down the straight and try and outbrake. But there's Andy pulling out. But there we see Diefenbacher. He's still in front. He's got the cars handling well, and he's fighting a little bit, but he really is good. And to be in front of that Works BMW is a great step forward. I'm sure they're getting very excited in the pit lane, thinking that, well, they've just had a second. They might even walk away from this race meeting with a first.
They've had
that really would please them.
Yeah, a couple of great results. The third was the first time that they'd got a podium last year, Oschersleben with Diefenbacher, and as you say, they got another third place earlier in the season. They got a second place in this very last race this afternoon, and now a chance, a strong chance of a win, because Jörg and Dirk Muller are now close together, and Dirk Muller will be trying to get by the Seat boys, cheering as they see themselves in shot. They don't care, they want to watch the race as well. I tell you what, there is going to be a monumental party in the Czech Republic tonight if Seat can pull off a win here. And Andy Priaulx right up behind Fabrizio Giovanardi, and that means he's got past Tom Coronel, and he's pushing Giovanardi out of the corner. Great camera shot, and Andy Priaulx is absolutely stoked up here as well. Fourth place, don't forget, from 8th on the grid, so he may yet get on the race 2 podium if he can really push Giovanardi all the way. But Gio, as we know, is such a hard man. You think Zanardi's hard to overtake. Zanardi can make his car 4 or 5 times as wide. Look how wide this straight is, and they're still in the dust on the outside there as Priaulx tries to find a way past Coronel with Garcia and Rydell up Garcia's inside, as again Priaulx tries a move on Giovanardi, diving way out again, really showing his intent to swing up through this hairpin, get the drive on the exit, but Giovanardi's just a little faster than he needs to be for Priaulx really to have a good run. It's not going to happen there.
But he's trying very hard, and he really is hassling the back of this Alfa Romeo in every single corner he comes into. We know he's faster, we can see that Andy Priaulx is faster than Giovanardi, but being faster is one thing, actually being able to get past is different. You can see that Andy's taking a much tighter line. He's got to take a tighter line out of here across the grass to try and get that drive out along the straight. He needs to be right in that slipstream. He's a little bit further back than he wants to be at this moment in time. Had he been a bit closer, he might try and slipstream. But you can see up front now, you've got Dirk and Jörg Muller right up behind that Seat. And they're pushing very hard, so that's 1, 2 and 3. So even if Priaulx gets past, he's still only going to be 4th, but if there's enough time left, he will try and catch that trio at the front. He's certainly got the speed, he's got the fastest lap of the race so far.
Here comes Dirk down the inside of Jörg Muller. He's got by him. Dirk Muller passes Jörg Muller for second place, and the championship lead will remain with him. Those two guys love a close race, just so love it, and Andy Priaulx must be yelling into his helmet with delight at this. This is fantastic action. Diefenbacher leads Dirk, he leads Jörg, the two non-related Mullers in the Schnitzer BMWs, and here's Andy Priaulx down the inside. inside. He has got the other BMW, Zanardi, coming behind him. Inside Giovanardi, let's hold the shot, don't see it. As the BMWs continue in second and third to chase Frank Diefenbacher. What have they got to offer the Seat? I'm not sure, an awful lot, and Prio's got through. There was a white car in front of Giovanardi in the back of the shot. Prio's up to fourth, Giovanardi down to fifth, and Garcia and Rydell and Coronel. Garcia looking inside, dust everywhere. Do we see Giovanardi, or was that, that was actually Jörg Muller's dust. Garcia still looking inside, Rydell there, Coronel with a yellow windscreen strip. Let's have a look again, on board with Andy Prio. Here's how it happened. This is the second corner, over the brow. Oh, did you see? Just a little bump between the two of them, and the wheel of Giovanardi's car dropped off the outside of the curb, and that just cost him that position. Well, such aggressive racing by all these drivers. But I have to say, David, not one single foul play move that I've seen anywhere yet. And there's Jaime Puig watching this. Do you know, in about 2 laps, he's going to have to stop watching the monitor, I think, because he's going to be so on the edge of his seat.
He is, because what he's seen is there's obviously a problem with the number 42 Jörg Muller's car. He lost the lead and he's actually going backwards, but Dirk Muller's got caught him, past him, and he really is pushing the Seat along. As you said, the Seat guy is standing there waiting, thinking, I wish this race would finish now, because he's in the lead, he wants to stay in the lead.
Red flag it.
But it's going to be very hard, because Dirk Muller's now there, and he's going to be pushing very hard. He's obviously a little bit faster than Jörg. Jörg's obviously either carrying more weight or got a small problem with the car or whatever, and he's dropping back, but that's going to give Andy Prio a chance. He now has got a clear road in front of him and will be trying to close that gap down. We can see he's some 3 seconds behind Jörg Muller at this moment in time, so if you can try and get that down, maybe try and get onto the podium to get that third place, and if the leader Diefenbacher can just try and do the thing of blocking and keeping people back, it might actually slow the cars down enough for Andy to be able to catch and try and have a go at the front even.
Yeah, that might even help him. Now, I noticed on the straight, as again we watched Diefenbacher blocking and running a little wide, but he just, you know, the way he drives this car though, David, he just throws it around on the front wheels, and just the back end just goes wherever it goes. He only cares about where the nose is pointing. He's just so wild with this car, but still, he's just hanging on there halfway through the race. I was just going to say about Jörg Muller on the straight, pulling out of the slipstream into clean air. I wonder if he's just got a bit of an overheating problem. Maybe it's just robbed him of a little bit of power, and he's maybe had to back it off a fraction. He's now in clean air. That should help it cancel itself out, so he might still have something to offer towards the end of the race.
I think he's going to struggle there, but certainly Prio, you can see he's catching, but you can see Dirk Muller all over the back of this Seat, and Diefenbacher watching all the time. And you've seen earlier on when he arrived into the corner, one of the rear wheels was locked up. That's why he went wide into that double right-hander. And he's trying his hardest. He's watching his mirrors at the same time, trying to do the defensive drive to keep it back. He is desperate to be the first Seat to win, and all the Seat drivers want that. All the Seat drivers want to be the first one to win. They've all had podium positions now, and oh, there it goes.
Oh, Muller's got inside him. It was all the way up the hill, and that is Jörg's wife, not Dirk's girlfriend. Jörg's wife there. That is, out of the hairpin, Diefenbacher, you could just see Dirk Muller starting to edge. I was just about to say, it's going to be the longest 4 laps in Jaime Puig's career in competition, and Frank Diefenbacher's. But now, can Diefenbacher get back there? That win is still tantalisingly just beyond the nose of the Seat. He's still got every chance to catch and pass Dirk Muller. Well, that's where the move actually finished, but it started out of the uphill hairpin. Again, the traction of the BMW on that uphill slope just helped him get a little run up the inside of Diefenbacher. Still nothing in it, and still could go either way. We've got to fit in another commercial break. I can't believe we're going to have to leave this. We will be back live in Brno in just a second as Diefenbacher gets ready to mount a final charge for a first win for Seat.
LG, life's good.
with KW, the sports shock absorbers specialist.
Round 10 of the FIA European Touring Car Championship in Brno. Round 10 of the series sees Dirk Muller just leading from Van Diefenbacher. Diefenbacher tantalisingly close to a first win in the series for Seat. Andy Prio now right on their tail in third place. He's ahead of Jörg Muller. Jörg Muller slowing the early race leader. Ricard Rydell in fifth position. He's ahead of Fabrizio Giovanardi, who's slipped down to sixth. Seventh is Antonio Garcia. Eighth now Kurt Mollikens in the BMW Belgium-Luxembourg car, because Augusto Farfus just got up into eighth to score a point for the first time since Magny Cours, and has now just retired, as already has Gabriele Tarquini in a gravel trap. And Diefenbacher now worrying less perhaps about trying to catch and pass Dirk Muller for the win, but to hold off Andy Prio to get that second place for Seat. But Prio has got such a head of steam up the hill. This is exactly where Dirk Muller got by, out of that uphill hairpin. It's such a tough sequence of corners, off camber, uphill, and the front wheel drive car just hasn't got, David, I don't think, enough tyre left to hold all its power on the road. And Andy Prio just made that look so easy, but it was anything but. He was so close there.
It is, and the front wheel drive cars knew it was going to be very difficult at this race meeting. With such a twisted circuit, such a long circuit, they knew that the tyres were going to take a real pounding, and towards the end of the race they were going to really struggle to get some grip. And we can see that's exactly what happened there with the rear wheel drive, where they spread the load over the four tyres much more than front wheel drive, whereas everything's done with the front wheel tyres. Andy Prio was able to get out to the corner that little bit quicker and have that drive up the road. But Andy certainly has the fastest lap. He's about half a second a lap quicker than anybody else on the circuit as the fastest lap. And he really is reeling them in here. He's already had a first. This is him aiming now for a second. He's got a couple of laps left, only 2 laps this and one more, in order to try and get that first place. But you can see that Diefenbacher is still trying. He doesn't give up. He's trying all the time. He ended up on the dirt when he came off. You see a little wiggle there. That was him just trying to make sure the dirt was off the tyres before he turned into this double right-hander. The last thing he wanted was to go in there with a car that wasn't stable. And he's still giving everything. He doesn't want to finish off that podium. He was leading the race for a little while, and a little disappointed that he's now in third, but he's trying hard.
It is not Jörg Muller's wife, it is Dirk Muller's girlfriend, watching there with everything crossed, feeling the nervous anticipation. We're here with Alex Zanardi, who is now in 11th place, chasing Salvatore Tavane for 10th, the independent Alfa ahead of him. And Dirk Muller leading. Andy Prio, as you said, David, won the first race here. He's already the first 3-time winner, and he's maybe in with a shot of becoming the first 4-time winner in the series, chasing Dirk Muller. But there's only a lap left after the end of this one, and I think he's too far away. Dirk is going to have to make a big mistake, and I've known Dirk Muller too long to expect that of him. Well, here's the move again. Previous lap, same place, out of that uphill hairpin. Diefenbacher knows what's going on. This time he's right over on the left-hand side to try and block the line up the inside, but in the end he knows the BMW's coming up behind him, so he's going to give it there and try and take it away on the exit of the corner. There's just nothing he can do about it. He knows that the jig is up there, but he was certainly wise to what was going on long before it happened to him. On to the last lap then with Dirk Muller. Andy Prio second, Diefenbacher third. Jörg Muller maybe closing for that third podium position from Diefenbacher.
I think Diefenbacher just has enough there at the moment. Not a great deal. He doesn't need to make any more mistakes. He doesn't need any grassy moments, but he'll hopefully hang on to his third place.
Only Alfa likely to score a point. Here is Fabrizio Giovanardi in the number 2 car. He's in 6th place, but he's got Antonio Garcia, Kurt Mollikens and Tom Coronel behind him. If Garcia can force a mistake out of Giovanardi, all 3 BMWs will be by like that, and he will be out of the points. Giovanardi has really, we heard from him on the grid about getting a point, getting any points. He has really got to give it everything on this last lap with the concentration. But look at Prio, halfway round. At least 3, to my knowledge, overtaking opportunities remain on this circuit, and Prio is comfortably in the quickest car. David, he's taken half a second, 3/4 of a second out of Dirk Muller in that half a lap.
Yes, he has. His car's so well set up for the races, and we've seen him in qualifying also very near the front. But when it comes to the actual races, He really has his car working very well indeed, and he's able to put it where he wants it. Look, he's got the inside line. He can take a much better line to try and get on the throttle. He's on the throttle earlier now to try and get out of this corner and try and get up the hills quicker than what the car in front is. But unfortunately at the moment, still behind Dirk. He's got to get past, but he's got to get past very cleanly.
He is still all over the back of Dirk Muller. Dirk Muller using the middle of the road, as is his right. No weaving, no blocking, no chopping. And I tell you what, he will not force Prio off to hold on to a win. He will race cleanly. If he gets beat, he gets beat, because he knows it's a long championship as well. Final chance then, out of this uphill hairpin. Dirk Muller again, just a fraction earlier on the gas, but he's got a tail slide going. He's on the loose. You didn't hear Andy Prio's wheels spin up there. Prio's got the run. Dirk Muller's on the left. Prio's forced to try and look around the outside as they hit the brakes. Dirk Muller just held his line enough, and I think that's won him the race, David.
Yes, that was the last real opportunity. There's one more to go, but very difficult. All he's got to do is exactly the same thing again. Just hold on to the inside line. That's where he was, and that's what made the difference.
So Dirk Muller just did enough there, and yes, you can breathe again. Dirk's girlfriend, big thumbs up as he becomes a three-time winner in the champion. No, that's in fact only his second win in the championship this season, tying Jörg Muller with the number of wins, but it's Andy Prio who has won 3 times now, and Dirk Muller wins that one. Andy Prio second from 8th on the grid, so a great race weekend for Andy Prio. Last weekend, a win and a retirement, or 2 weekends ago, a win and a retirement. This weekend, a win and a second place. That is some fighting form. Dirk Muller, the race winner. Andy Prio will be just as thrilled as he can be with first and second here. Frank Diefenbacher third place. Tough luck again for Diefenbacher and the Seats. I wonder what's going to happen when we go to Donington Park in a fortnight. The toughest of the tracks on brakes, but a real handling track as well. And I think the Seat have got a really good chance there. And if Seat UK can get a chance to get their cars involved, fantastic. Zanardi got past Tavano, only to get clattered into on the final lap. Well, them's the breaks in motor racing. Let's have a look again on board. Well, this is not a replay, that's him coming round on the final lap. Dirk Muller, though, the winner, and David's arithmetic gives us a new championship leader. Andy Prio with, Dirk Muller rather, with 63 points, stays in the championship lead. Andy Prio in second with 59, Jörg Muller in third now with 57. As a result of finishing fourth behind Frank Diefenbacher. Not quite sure what happened to Jörg's car, something not hugely major, but just enough to take him from first back down to fourth. Just outside the points got Molliken's Carl Rosenblad in their BMWs. Simon Harrison, 12th place. That's, I think, probably about the best position he's had all season long in the little Honda Civic Type R, which really is pretty much outclassed in this field. We've seen Alessandro Balzan in his 2-race-old Honda Accord mixing it a little better with the front-running cars, and that car, when it's had a season of development, should be a real front-runner. So David's arithmetic again proves absolutely spot on. Muller, Prio and Muller first, second and third. Gabriele Tarquini in fourth place. And yet again, Augusto Farfus has a non-scoring weekend for Alfa Romeo. He's only scored 4 times in 10 races. Well, he actually won, of course, the opening 2, but they were taken away as his car was found not to comply with suspension regulations, so they don't count. Andy Prio, though, what a race weekend for him, and for Dirk Muller as well. Goes away with the championship lead after winning race 2. David Leslie, breathtaking stuff from Brno again.
It is. It's one of those circuits that just lends itself to a little bit of slipstreaming, diving down the inside, nice wide circuit, lots of flowing corners so that you can get past, and lots of overtaking opportunities, and that's what we've seen there.
And again, some great, close, and most of all, clean racing. 2 weeks' time, Donington Park. Get yourself up there. The FIA GT Championship, the Formula Renault V6s, of course, and the European touring cars will all be part of a busy, busy bill there. And incidentally, it's the Morris Minor Owners Club National Rally that weekend as well, also at Donington Park. Now, if the FIA GT GTs and touring cars weren't enough to tempt you, that must have sealed the deal. I can't believe anybody could turn that down. So we will be back from Donington Park on the 7th of June?
27th
of June, yes, in fact, so it's not 2 weekends, it's 4 weekends away, because 2 weekends, of course, will be in La Belle France for the Le Mans 24 hours. And here's Dirk, yes, congratulations. I was going to say big man, but of course, relatively speaking, he's not. He's quite a small guy, but his crew delighted with that, and so they should be. So you can see he's happy with that. Behind him, here comes Andy Prio, the Guernsey colours on the helmet of the Channel Islander. And let's catch up with them and maybe get a chance to have a word. I'm not sure if we're going to get a chance to do that live, but certainly in Thursday's Super Racing magazine, we will get the drivers' thoughts after what has been an hugely entertaining afternoon's fun from Brno. Okay, we are going to get a chance before we join David Harmon and Sean Kelly on the 20th stage of the Giro. Let's get down to Dirk Muller.
Dirk Muller, this is incredible. With your 40-kilo ballast, you managed to come up from 5th place, win the race, but above all, you're 20 points ahead of Gabriele Tarquini in the championship and 4 in front of Andy Prio. How do you feel?
Well, I don't know really what to say. I mean, like I said in the warm-up, the whole team worked till midnight and did an incredible job. I don't know really what to say. I mean, it was just a race which played for me. Lots of fighting, you know. I could close the gap to the leading 2 guys. And congratulations also to my teammate and Andy. It was great racing, and I was lucky and I won the race. I'm really, really happy.
Now, were you a bit worried because at the end it was pretty close? Andy was catching up to you. Did you think that he had a chance and that maybe you'd slip to second?
I mean, one more lap and then he would have passed me because I was sliding everywhere. And the 40 kilos, I mean, they are really, really heavy going up back to start and finish. So it was really hard to me. But, you know, we're doing 50 Ks and I did it. So thank you.
Thank you, Dirk.
Yeah, just as we said those words, he said it as well. One more lap, but of course that uphill chicane with the 40 kilos extra doesn't sound like an awful lot, but it was enough to allow Andy Prio to have one last run. I mean, as Jörg said, I think Dirk said, David, I think one more lap and Andy would have had that comfortably in the bag. But there are no more laps in a 10-lapper than 10. So Dirk Muller wins that one. Andy Prio a win then and a second place. 4 points off the championship lead held by this man, Dirk Muller. He's never won on his own talent. He's always been lucky, he says. Yeah, right. Dirk Muller wins the 10th midway race of the series. We'll be back later tonight with the FIA GTs.